So, I don't know if the system does this, although I am curious. There is a certain object. Oh. Mechanics rod. Yeah, I'm curious. Okay. Dirt rod. Hey, you can buy sunflowers. I didn't mean to actually buy that. Well, I'm keeping it. Shoe mine bars. What do these do? Hmm. But what I plan on doing is pretty much make a duplicator thing. And since I already have this here, I might as well do it here. What?
When I get home from work tonight, will you help me load up this couch and stuff in the back of the truck and take it down so we can throw it in the dumpster?
Sure.
Okay, because I want to do it tonight, because I need to start making space so I can put the deck stuff together. So be ready when I get home tonight, and we'll load it up in the back of the truck and we'll throw it in the dumpster.
Ow, stop.
Scooby! Hey! Scooby! Scooby!
Okay. Okay. There's that. I need to use a different block. And yes, I noticed the damn blood moon. Okay. find out what I'm doing here in a minute. So to do this right, this one's going to be filled with water. This one is going to be filled with lava. This one is going to be filled with honey. Okay. That should be everything I need. Well, besides one other thing. Oh, crap. I keep forgetting we're 3 high creatures, not 2 high like Minecraft. Okay. Okay. Actually, that's not gonna work. Okay, airspace. There we go. Now I just need a bucket. Not creating a door up here. just need fire. Not fire, lava. Don't know why I didn't just use the teleporter room right next to my damn thing. Okay. Okay, so just keep everything away from it. That's gonna work. Crap, when I did that, I put the bucket in there too. My last bucket. This is going to take a while. Okay, if you have one bucket in inventory, you should have to wait. Like I said, I'm not going to actually fill it all the way up. Nice and fun, right? This is why I think we need fucking pumps. It's on the fucking PC, but no. We can't have them. It's disappearing. Huh. Weird. Okay. It's not a quick process, which is probably why they haven't taken it out. See, I don't understand why it does that every once in a while. Oh well, I'll get the rest later. But But either way, those are set up. Wish we had water pumps. Make it a hell of a lot easier. Pulse bow. Yeah, I'm getting that. I mean, it's not used in anything. Yeah. Basically, I need anklets of the wind to complete these two to make the next tier boots. I really want all the trophies because I want to end up making a trophy room. Haley Bug! Colorful, isn't it? It's called Rainbow Brick. Ow. Not really, it didn't hurt much.
Did you know I'm watching Rapunzel and she's going to turn 18 and my number 18? I'm number 18 at school, my number.
Hey,
What?
do you know what these are?
What?
These are teleporters. Want to see what they do?
Yeah.
They teleport me wherever I have them hooked up at. Those, I think I only have maybe 2 of them hooked up. Oh, that one's hooked up. Alright, yeah, so I only have 2 of them in there hooked up right now. But eventually I'm going to have one that goes to the right ocean, and then I'm going to have another one that goes to the left ocean, one to go to the dungeon, and one to go to the jungle temple. Why don't you go eat? Finish eating.
I'll come in here when my soup's done and my soup's all gone.
Alright. Okay. I think one of the last things we did yesterday is do all these. But I need to go down and beat the wall of flesh. A couple more times. Until I get the last one of those. Which could be a while. Could. Although I might get something to eat myself. Haven't had anything to eat since this morning. Oh. There it is. Geronimo! Oh wait. Geronimo! Oh. Wait. I got this. Geronimo! Really? Really? Well, fine. Geronimo. Haha! It's down further than usual. This one's really far down. on, guys. Nope. Hello.
Well.
What?
Oh shit. Demon Fox.
I am live streaming and playing Terraria.
Well, I'm playing 9.
What was that? Your mic cut out.
But I got a.
I guess he lagged out.
Kicked out of the party due to network error.
Yeah, I figured as much since your thing was getting a little in and out. Alright, so in the game I'm playing, Terraria, you can combine stuff to take up less room, right? So obviously PC has a lot more stuff. Like, for an instance, the PC, they can actually end up making a cell phone in the game, which does, like, it tells time, your position, teleports you home, see if there's any rare creatures around, so on and so forth. It has a lot of stuff into it because there's a lot of individual stuff put into it. The system, well, the consoles can't make it because there are certain stuff that you can only get from buying or finding that they don't drop. Like, you can't buy them from a merchant, and like certain things you can't buy from a merchant that is usually there in the PC versions. And there's a couple items that drop from certain creatures that either A, we don't have, or B, they just removed it from the drops. Their spawn, well, the drop spawns or whatever. Which is fine. I can understand, like, it not being in their inventory. But the thing is, there is one thing in particular that we just can't make. We don't have the actual crafting recipe. We have the ingredients, but we don't have the actual recipe. And that is what's stupid. And one of them is, like, because with the Neptune shell, which allows me to breathe underwater and swim, it can be combined with a moon charm, if I remember correctly, a moon charm, and that we can do. And then later on, if we have the celestial stone, we can combine that item that you get from the Neptune shell and the moon charm to craft another thing, which basically just takes up less inventory space. You get the perks from both, and well, you get the perks from everything it has with it, and it's mainly just to free up inventory slots. But we can't craft the items. Like, I can combine the Neptune shell and the moonstone. I think it's the moonstone. I know it's something to do with that. Because it drops from werewolves. We have werewolves, and it does drop from werewolves and all that. We can combine those two. That's not an issue. The issue is the celestial stone and whatever comes out, combining the Neptune shell with the moonstone. I forget what it's called. We don't have that ingredient, which I find total BS. Waiting for the damn guide to spawn back in. It's like, I'm not home, I'm in hell. Actually, I do need to go back home and get rid of some stuff temporarily. Okay, Demon Torch. Oh yeah, I'm getting some stuff from hell, so whenever you do end up building your room, you are more than welcome to use that stuff to make your room to fit your character. What?
A lot of enemies down this path I chose to take.
God damn it.
None of which fight too fair.
What game are you playing?
Neo.
Uh,
God damn it.
well, the player never plays fair, so why should the enemies?
At least I have had my candles to call back my stuff. Apparently, red candles in this game act as like something to call back your lost items. Which that's good because I lost quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was live streaming yesterday, and someone who has joined the live stream a couple other times usually is pretty much like a pervert or something. I don't know for certain. But anyways, he makes sexual jokes all the time. And I just wasn't in the mood. And when I told him to pretty much stop, now, I didn't say it meanfully or disrespectfully or anything. I just asked him to stop. And he got all pissy and he threatened to report me for saying that I pretty much was being racist. Saying that I called black people stupid, but he used the word Negroes or niggers or something like that.
So basically, a little kid.
Most likely. Like, I don't know if he was an actual perv, but he was making sexual jokes. Which, I mean, you're more welcome to go through the entire video and up until that point yourself to make sure I didn't say it. If you want. Okay, well, so to summon the wall in Terraria, well, the wall of flesh, which usually will put you into hard mode after you beat it, you have to, you summon it by throwing a guide voodoo doll into lava in hell. When this happens, like, it's summoned and you pretty much have to beat it. You cannot leave hell. If you leave hell, you will die. So the only way out of hell at that point is to die, or to kill the wall of flesh. But in doing, throwing the guide voodoo doll into the lava, it kills your guide. Your guide person. Hence why it says guide voodoo doll. Now, I have, like, in doing, like, the guide will respawn, but he only, like, the people will only spawn, I think, at nighttime or something. But you can face the wall of flesh anytime, so if you do it during the day, you have to wait until nighttime for him to respawn. And you can probably beat the wall of flesh like 2 or 3 times in one night. It depends on how, well, when you do it. But if it's daytime, it's like, just get on with it. Actually, what time of day is it? Yeah. But the furthest to the cell phone we can create is the GPS. Which the GPS will show your height and your left and right position and the time of day. So basically, it basically shows your exact location and the time of day. That's basically what the GPS does. And there's a bunch of other stuff that ends up making the GPS, well, the cell phone. Which the cell phone. Like, one of the ingredients is the magic mirror or ice mirror. It can be either or. But since it's not the PC version, I can't craft the damn cell phone. But you can have the magic mirror. I have one and use it. The magic mirror or ice mirror will teleport you back home. Well, to your spawn location. Some people, it's the actual world spawn. Other people, it's their beds that they set. Mine is my bed for right now. And you can change whenever you want, as long as you're at that location. But the wall of flesh is pretty easy with my gear I have, because I have 81 defense, because I got 23 defense from my helmet, 32 defense from my chest piece, and 18 defense for my leggings. So add those together, it's not 81, I can tell you that much. But the rest of my defense is actually coming from my other equipment. Like my Frostspark boots, I have a thing where it adds 4 defense. So that's where some more defense of mine is. And then the Celestial Stone itself increases my defense as well. So it ends up putting it from... Normally it would be 77, but with the Celestial Stone it puts up to 81. I have a lot of defense. And my my armor sets, it will send out 3 beetles that reduce damage taken by 45%. Now, I will have up to 3 beetles, each one does 15%, and after I get hit, you will lose 1 beetle. Which means, after 3 hits, you will lose that 45. After 1 hit, you technically lose the 45. It would go down to, what, 30? And then 15, then 0, so on and so forth. But one spawns every so many seconds or something like that. Two, 1. Damn it. Damn, the guide still has an AMP. I mean, he should start spawning here soon. It's 8:30 in game. So how was your day?
Well, I slept in till about noon because I was off.
Sounds fun. Ha ha! Yeah, you're right, it's hilarious! I don't need another damn voodoo doll yet. The reason why I'm talking about the wall of flesh, though, because the wall of flesh drops some emblems, like charm type emblems, and they're not guaranteed to drop. I think they're like a 8.7% chance to drop each time it dies. Which for some reason the damn ranger emblem is the most common, because I've gotten like 3 of them. But I have 2 of the charms, and once I get the 3rd charm, I can combine the 3 charms into something, and then after I do that, I can combine it with the Eye of Golem to do something else. Basically, there is a ranger emblem, a sorcerer emblem, and some sort of melee emblem for the 3 main classes. each one does what you would think. The ranger increases range damage, the sorcerer increases sorcering type damage, aka magic, and then the melee obviously does melee. Although I don't think that's its actual name. That's what it does. Okay, really? It's 12 a.m. in game. Why hasn't he fucking spawned yet? I don't know if that was what was causing it, but okay. The guide still hasn't spawned and it's nighttime. Yeah, moon charm is what I need from the werewolves. But you can only get the moon, well, you can only get the moon charm from werewolves, and werewolves only spawn on a full moon at night. And it's a pretty low chance to drop. Yeah, combining the moon charm and the Neptune shell will get you the moon shell, which we can craft. And what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to be able to combine the celestial stone and the moon shell to make the celestial shell, which we can't do. Which I don't know why. Because we have both of the ingredients. But the Celestial Shell is a hard mode post-golem accessory that combines stat boosting powers of a celestial stone with the transformation powers of the moonshell, allowing both of their effects to happen simultaneously while taking only one accessory slot. To make the celestial shell, you need to get the, what is it, the something night. I think it's like night and dark. Hang on. Oh, the sunstone and the moonstone. Yeah, but we have the damn crafting recipe. Well, we have the ingredients to the damn thing, but we don't have the actual recipe, which I find retarded. Why? Damn, why has he not spawned? It's annoying. Oh, now he spawns? You know what? Just for taking so long, you stupid guy, you are going to go to hell. And die. Guide was slain, the wall of flesh has awoken. So I just used one of those guide voodoo dolls. I had 3. I used one to summon the wall of flesh. And then I get another one of those damn demons that carry the damn voodoo dolls. So now I have 3 again. God damn it, stop giving me the damn ranger! Oh, well now I got a fourth voodoo doll. Finally! God damn. Oh. Oh. So if I want to make the mechanical glove, I need to combine the power gloves I have with the Avenger charms, which to get the Avenger charms, you have to get those 3 charms. Yay. God was... What? I didn't slay him this time. How did he die? Yeah, because I didn't do it that time. Hang on. trying to get rid of the website, there is no direct way that I can Okay. Okay. Now the guide has arrived again. He's actually in his room. Oh, that's why I wanted to make the destroyer emblem. Because the destroyer emblem I can combine with the rifle scope to make the sniper scope, which increases view range for guns and 10% increased range damage and critical strike chance. So I'm pretty much making this for a ranged person. Okay, so destroyer emblem can go there. Power gloves can go back where they were. And I guess I can do one of two things. I can either A, go back down to hell and continue beating the wall of flesh until I can get all three emblems again. Or I can go to the dungeon and look for the sniper people to try to get a sniper scope. Well, a scope or whatever. I'll probably do the easier one of the two. Well, they're actually kind of both tricky because, well, one's tricky physically, the other one's just patient tricky. If you don't have patience, yeah. Because the dungeon itself is physically tricky. Now that I have beaten Plantera, because Plantera opens up more enemy spawns. But it's not just the sniper I need to kill as well. It's also trying to find Bone Lee so I can make more ninja gear. For my fellow people whenever they decide to jump on. Shit, I didn't mean to hit that button.
That sounded like an irritated sigh.
It was, because we don't have a lot of inventory room for different equipment. We only have 5 equipment slots, and my wings take up one of them that can't really be moved. The ninja gear is kind of interchangeable, but not much. If I usually change it out, it's usually with the GPS. Mostly for the time of day. My boots, well, my Frostbark boots, I usually change out with my discount card, because I don't have to run at that point. My bee cloak, I usually change out with my Neptune shell. For if I don't plan on taking a lot of damage, because the bee cloak causes fallen stars to appear and releases bees whenever you're injured, which is why I usually have it equipped. So I'm just mining or something like that. But the issue is we only have 5 inventory slots, which is why combining materials is very helpful. Which is also why I want to end up combining the Neptune shell with the celestial stone whenever I end up getting the moon charm. But I can't because we don't have that ability. Too bad the damn GPS doesn't tell you what moon phase you're in.
Oh, there's an update file for Arc.
Well, that must have been within a couple hours. Because I know when I got off of work, I checked a lot of my stuff for updates, and Arc didn't have one at the time. So it has.
There should just be. Is there a way to where you can just check updates on all applications and games at once?
Yeah, not at once. You have to go to each one individually. Most of them will do it automatically, but not all of them. Like Arc is one of those like weird ones that they don't. I do need to beat Plantera at least 4 more times. Ah, shit. Hate that guy. He has a lot of armor. I'm actually really loving that spider. Because this guy, the Paladin, I think is what it is. He has a lot of armor, a lot of health. And if he's not taking damage, he will throw his hammer. And he has a lot of hammers. He has like infinite hammers. And he will throw them quite frequently. And the hammers can go through walls and stuff like that. But is very dangerous. He is very powerful and a lot of health. He is one of the most dangerous regular mobs in the game, at least console-wise. Not saying that there's not other dangerous ones, but he is one of the most dangerous.
Huh.
But he also has a chance to drop his shield, which the shield absorbs 25% of damage done to players on your team, only active above 25% health. Which I think, instead of other players taking damage, it will be you taking damage up until 25% or lower. So it's good for the tank. Well, it's bad for the tank, but good for the other people on your team. Because most of the other people on your team will not have a lot of health. Most of them will have lower health. And yeah.
Alright, well, since I got 2 downloads going, I think I'm going to hop out of party and just go to appear offline to hopefully speed it up and watch a movie, because it's... Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm probably going to get off here really soon to get something to eat. And probably be putting games up for the night. Just watch my TV shows.
Alright.
By the way, so going to the my TV show, the last season or two, the main character's best friend ended up dying, and since she's a witch, she goes to like a purgatory, which the purgatory was actually set up by an actual witch, because of reasons. Don't really want to get on to details because it's a very long story. But anyways, there is an anchor involved, because every spell that lasts over a long period of time, every spell has to have some sort of anchor. Rather, if it's a living or non-living thing, it basically has to be powerful. It can't be destroyed. If it gets destroyed, the spell will cease to be there. So the old anchor was a vampire, one of the very original vampires. And speaking of which, the original vampires in this is not the original vampires. They were made about 1,000 years ago, while the very original vampires were made 2,000 years ago. So, little misconceiving. Technically, the very first 2 vampires are not actually called vampires, because they don't have to feed directly from humans. Vampires have the urge to, but the original ones, they don't have the urge. Now, to advance their powers, like mind control and stuff like that, they will have to feed on human blood, but they don't have to, not to stay alive. But anyways, so going with it, the original 2 vampires, there was one cure for being a vampire. The original doppelganger ended up drinking it, and the only way, and so the boy original vampire ended up draining the doppelganger person's blood and end up taking the cure that way. So he's actually a witch before he was a vampire. All right, never mind. Yeah, but for the people watching, I'm talking about the Vampire Diaries, aka the originals as well. But I hate the necromancer. But the Vampire Diaries, the season I'm on is, I think, season 6 or 7. I'm just about finished with the ones on Netflix. But yeah, basically that witch I was talking about, the best friend's witch, she ended up becoming the anchor, because the original anchor ended up dying, end up taking the cure, so she was end up being mortal. So the best friend witch ended up trading places because she was dead. So trading places, it allows her to keep a foot among the living and the dead, so she can be seen, touched, and all that by both sides. Normally the dead can't touch the living, but the anchor can. And the very last episode of the season I was on, the purgatory place, or the other side is what they call it, is falling apart because the travelers in the story, if you know the travelers, they're basically a group of witches that don't like regular witches. They use a different type of magic, and a bunch of travelers end up sacrificing themselves to get their master back from the dead. And in doing so, it started to unravel the other side, aka purgatory. So whenever I say unravel, though, I'm saying that very loosely. That's what they're calling it, is unraveling, because it's meant to keep people dead. And they originally overwhelmed the anchor, so because it's kind of like, since the anchor is kind of like the gate, it's supposed to be a one-way street, unless you have a certain ring that you can come back from the dead if it's from a supernatural creature of some sort. But the anchor is pretty much the door. And so normally the door is one way. But if so many people die at once and go through the door, it will be open wider. Therefore, the creatures on the one side can get through. And that's exactly what happened. But in doing so, it started unraveling purgatory, which is a bad thing. Every supernatural creature will basically die. Friend, foe, doesn't matter. Now, originally, if you undo the spell, all the supernatural creatures would come back if you undo the spell. But unraveling is a different story. Unraveling, the creatures on the other side will actually disappear. And that's pretty much what happened on the last episode. The anchor ended up disappearing. Which means, well, we don't know exactly yet. At least I don't. But yeah, nothing good. But as of right now, the anchor, aka the main character's best friend, is gone, along with the main character's boyfriend. Not saying which boyfriend, because if you guys know the actual story, she basically has a crush on the two vampire brothers. Started dating one of them, and then they end up breaking up, and she started dating another. But the second brother, they started dating because it was his blood that turned her. Therefore, she was pretty much grateful. Sired. She was sired to him, so she did everything that he said, really unwillingly, in order to undo it. But what ended up happening to get unsired, she ended up turning off her humanity, because she's a vampire, and that's what vampires can do in the series. And that's how she became unsired, because she didn't have any feelings for the other brother. Eventually, her humanity got turned back on, and she was not sired to him anymore. But she was still in love with him. I still have not gotten it. Hello. Ow. The damn ninja gear can be a blessing and a curse. Neener, 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 you couldn't hit me. And honestly, Reaper Mesh, I am very surprised I actually saw your comment. Because usually the first comments, it's like they're in my blind spot. It's probably because I'm not sitting down. Well, I'm not laying down like usual. I'm sitting down. Alright, well, I'm gonna get off here for the day and watch more of my show. I have been caught up on the originals themselves. Well, the TV show, the originals. So you can't spoil that. But anyways, damn thing. Not open to the public, dude. Damn it. Zoom out. There we go. I immediately left when I said that. Not surprised. But anyways, have a nice day. Have a nice night. I will catch y'all later. I might live stream tomorrow. I might not. I'll see what I can do. So yeah, see you guys later.